Okay, Shalom Aleichem, everybody. We are holding today on Dam Tas Amud Aleph, and in the art scroll it is 9A3 towards the bottom of Tas Amud Aleph, and we're going to now define my tashlumin. So, my tashlumin 9A3, the left column, bottom paragraph. In the Hebrew, it's about 12 lines bottom from Tas Amud Aleph, and let's talk a little bit about tashlumin. Okay, so we already saw the halacha that if a person didn't bring the Chagiga, Korban Chagiga, right? Chagatem oto chag Hashem, and you should bring it on the first day, we said. And if you didn't bring it on the first day, it says in the Pasuk, you have Shivat Yamim. You have 7 days to bring it. All right, so that's what we said. Pesach, Sukkot, and even though Shavuot doesn't have Chol Hamoed afterwards, it doesn't have a holiday at the end, still you have 7 days of Tashlumin to bring it up. We also saw on Sukkot, since the pasuk says "B'chodesh hashevi'i tachogu oto," as long as it's still holiday time in the 7th month, meaning it's Shmini Atzeret, even though it's a regular Fnei Atzmai, even though it's a separate Yom Tov, still you can bring the tashlumin of the Chagiga of Sukkot on Shmini Atzeret. Okay, that's what we saw. Now, the question that we're going to tackle today is really, what is the nature of this tashlumin? The question is going to be as follows. How do you understand this tashlumin? We'll use an English word, this make-up carbon. We're going to have two opinions. We're going to have Rabbi Yohanan and we're going to have Rabbi Oshaya. So Rabbi Yohanan, his opinion is that tashlumin is exactly that. It's a make-up korban. And the only time you're going to bring the tashlumin is if you were mehuyav, you were obligated to bring it on the first day, and you didn't bring it for whatever reason. Now, since you were obligated on the first day, you can make it up on another day. But according to the Rabbi Yochanan, we're going to see, he holds that if I was not obligated on the first day, I was, the Gemara's example is going to be, the guy is a lame person. He was not able to walk, and the mitzvah is to be olat regel, to go up on the foot, and we saw it has to be in the foot, and we saw the person who's not able to walk is patur. So says Rabbi Yochanan, if the guy was lame on the first day and he's patur, then the following days, even though if he got better on day 2 or he got better on day 3, he does not have to bring up the korban hagiga. Why? Because he was patur on the first day. And since the rest of the days are basically a makeup for the first day, but the first day you were potter, so you're potter all the days. That's the way Rabbi Yohanan is going to learn. Rabbi Oshaya, on the other hand, says, no, makeup korban is just that. It's a makeup, meaning if I can bring in the first day, very good. That's the main day I'm supposed to bring it. I can't bring it the first day, I'll bring it the second day. And I can't bring it the second day, I'll bring it the third day. If I can't bring it the third day, I'll bring it the fourth day. Can't bring it fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. It's basically every day I have an opportunity to bring the korban. And according to the Oshaya, if the guy is lame on the first day, so he can't bring it on the first day, but he can bring it on the second day, so he has another opportunity to bring it. So he can bring it on the second day. He can't bring it the second, he can bring it on the third day. So according to the Oshaya, it doesn't matter what your chiyuv is on the first day, where you're patur, where you're not patur. You always, as long as you have a chance to bring it one of those 7 days, you could bring the korban hagiga. That is the first point, and we'll look now inside in the Gemara. My tashlumin. What is the tashlumin? The makeup korban. Rabbi Yohanan says tashlumin lerishon. It's a makeup for the first day. I'm making up what I was supposed to do on the first day. V'Ribbi Oshaya Amar, tashlumin zelazeh. Every day is it's every day you can bring it. It's a makeup on any day. You can't do it on one day. You bring it on another day. My benayu. What's the difference between them? You know, we're dealing difference. Higer, a guy who's lame, he's not able to walk on his foot. Beyom lishon, On the first day, he is lame, he cannot walk. He's potter. Benit Pashet. But then he got healed. Beyom Sheni. On the second day. Ikabanayu. That's between them the difference. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Tashlum Rishon. Rabbi Yochanan says the whole thing is based on the first day. Kivan Dolo Hazeh Berishon. Since he was potter on the first day, Lo Hazeh B'Sheni. He continues to remain potter. He continues to remain potter because on the first day he was potter. Reb Oshaya Amar, Reb Oshaya says, Afagav Delo Hazeh, even though on the first day, Bayom Yishon, he wasn't Mechuyab, Hazeh B'Sheni, he's going to be Hazeh on the second day. He has to bring it. So that's the point of the difference. Do you look at the Hiyuv on the first day? And if I'm Mechuyab on the first day, I can bring it on the next day also. If I didn't bring it on the first day, that's Rabbi Yochanan. And Rabbi Oshaya is now, every day is another possibility to bring it, no matter what the other day was. Tosafot brings an interesting question. Tosafot wants to know what happens in the reverse case. What's the reverse case? The reverse case is Rabbi Yochanan. According to you, you said whatever your hiyuv was on the first day, right? So let's say on the first day, the guy, he was what's it called, able to walk, no problem. He was mehuyab, but he didn't bring it. Now, on the second day, when he wants to bring it, he broke his foot or whatever. Now he cannot walk. But on the first day, he was mehuyab. According to Yohanan, it's all based on what's on the first day. So it says Tosefot, that according to Rabbi Yochanan, he says to him, yeah, the chiyuv aliyah. You're going to have a chiyuv. Avagad hashli chazi. So this is really in a question. Which way should we look at it? But according to this day, if he's chiyuv on the first day, chiyuv all the days, l'maisa, he should bring it. And according to Baishaya, that says every single day, since today he is chiger, so today he's going to be potter, right? Because it's not based on the makeup; it's based on what today is, according to Moshe. However, the Meiri learns a little bit different. It says even according to Rabbi Yohanan, לפי כולם אינו חייב, שאין חובת התשלומים גדולה מעיקר החיוב. וכיוון שאם היה עומד כעת ביום ראשון פטור, פטור גם עכשיו. Says the Meiri, no, we're not going to say the guy was chayav on the first day, no matter what he is today, he's still mechuyav. No, if he would have showed up today, if he would have showed up yesterday as he's today, he's patur today. That's what the Meiri says, even according to Rabbi Yochanan. So you have a machloket Rishonim in Rabbi Yochanan about the reverse case. Okay, so again, let's put it all together from start until this Tosafot. So the question was, what was the nature of tashlumin? Rabbi Yochanan says tashlumin is a makeup of the first day. Mechuyev on the first day, I bring a tashlumin. I can bring a makeup, korban. If I was not obligated on the first day to bring a korban, then the rest of the days I'm positive from bringing a korban. Rabbi Shaya's opinion is no, it doesn't have to do anything with the first day. I have 7 days to bring it. I didn't bring it one day. I can bring it the second day, and every day is its chiyuv. Okay, fine. And the difference we said was a person who is patur on the first day, does he have to bring it on the next day? According to Yochanan, no, because patur on the first day. According to Shaya, every day is its own thing, so you have to bring it on the second day. The question then was Tosafot was the reverse case. The guy was mechuyav on the first day, okay, but then he became lame on the second day. He can't walk. Does he still bring the korban? According to Yochanan, you would think, yeah, he's on the first day, tashlumin for the first day. The first day he was chayav, so he could bring on the second day. Perhaps that's what Tosafot says. And then, according to Rabbi Oshaya, no, you look at today. The chiyuv is every day, including today. If he's here today he's not able to walk, then he is patur. And Meiri says, no, even according to the Yohanan, who says usually look at the first day, the guy shows up lame today, can't walk, and he wants to be a korban. We say, listen, if you would have showed up yesterday like you did today, you would be patur, therefore you're patur as well. Okay, that is up until now. Now, the Yohanan, what he's holding is that if you don't have a hiyuv to bring the korban, then there is no tashlumin. That's what he holds, right? That's what we saw. The guy is chiger on the first day. The guy is not able to walk on the first day. Then he is patur all the days, right? Because there's no hiyuv. So now we're going to bring a question on Rabbi Yohanan, from Rabbi Yohanan, where he seems to be saying differently. What's the case? All right. According to Rashi Tosfot, the case the Gemara is referring to is such a case. There was a guy who is a Nazir, right? He became Nazirot. He's going to be a Nazir for Hashem at a minimum of 30 days. And part of Nazirut is that he now be the Tameh Lamet. Okay? And now become Tameh Lamet. Fine. Now, what happens if another does become Tameh Lamet? This guy became Tameh Lamet. He walked outside one day, he found a dead body. Boom. He's Tameh Lamet. Okay? So in order to become Tahar, what does he have to do? He has to wait 7 days. And the third day, on the seventh day, he gets sprinkled from the Meh Hatat, from the Para Aduma. Right? And then he is Tovel. And on the 8th day, he brings a korban, shtei torim, u'shnei bnei yonah, echad lechatat, ve'echad le'olah, ve'cheves echad le'asham. Okay? He brings olah, chatat, asham. Now, and he starts over his nizirut. Now, the question is, let's say the guy did the 7 clean days. And he got the mechatat, the paraduma sprinkled third and the 7th. He went to mikvah. And on the 8th day, as he's bringing his korbanot to the mikdash, he bumps into another dead corpse. And he becomes tameh lamet again. So obviously, he has to wait another 7 days. And then he has to do tevilah again. Then he has to bring how many korbanot now? He had 2 sets of tuma and tahara. The halakha tells us he has to bring 2 sets of korbanot. One for his first set, for his first day, and one for his second day. Why? Because on the 8th day, he was bringing his korbanot, and he was mechuyav in it. He had a chiyuv in bringing it. It was ready the time to bring it. And he got stopped, and he couldn't bring it. But since he was mechuyav, there's going to be a tashlumin, and therefore when he gets tar the second time, he has to bring all those korbanot. Here's the other case. The other case, let's say this guy who's a Nazir or became Tameh Lamet, and it was day number 5. He got sprinkled one time. Or it was day number 7. If he got sprinkled a second time, but it's before he went to the mikvah, before nightfall. And as he's getting ready to go to the mikvah on the 7th day, or any day before that, as he's walking around, he bumps into another dead corpse. The halacha in this case is that he only brings 1 set of korbanot. Why? Because it's considered one long tumah. He never came out of the tumah. The whole time he was in the tumah. He never came out of it. He didn't go to the mikvah. He didn't bring the korban. It was still the same tumah from before, just an extension now. So at the end, he only brings 1 korban. 1 set of korbanot, not 2. Okay? So if it happened on the 8th day, you bring 2. If it happens any other day, you bring 1. The question is going to be, what about on the night before the 8th day? The guy already did the tefillah. The guy already did everything he's supposed to do. He's just waiting for morning to come so he could bring the korbanot. What's the story then? Do we say, we're going to see this is going to be the mahloket, not at this point, but a little bit further in the Gemara. Do we say that the night is already the time that he has to bring the korban? He just cannot bring it because he don't bring korbanot at nighttime. But the hiyuv, the obligation to bring it, is already upon him. And, or do we say no? There's no chiyuv in the korban until daytime. And this will play a big difference. If he's mechuyav in the nighttime, right, then what's it called? Then he should bring tashlumin if he ends up getting tameh again, because he already had to bring it. He just couldn't bring because it's night, but he has to bring a tashlumin. But if you hold that the night is not the time for the korban, then he gets tameh on the night before he brings the korban. It's considered one long tumah because he's never had to bring the korban, and he only brings one set of korbanot afterwards. Now, this I'm explaining to the Gemara as it's going to be in a few minutes, but at this point, we're just going to bring the contradiction between Rabbi Yochanan in one place and Rabbi Yochanan in another place and try to understand the Havamina of the Gemara. Let's take a look. So, the Gemara says, Umi ama Rabbi Yochanan hachi. Did Rabbi Yochanan say this? That there's such a thing as there's tashlumin. Did he say that there's no tashlumin if you're not mechuyev in the korban? Right? He said, what did Yochanan say? He said the guy is lame the first day, the whole week he doesn't have to bring. Did he really say this? Let's take a look. Im nitma bayom, Im nitma bayom. If the guy, the nazir, became tomei on the 8th day, maybe he brings 2 sets of korbanot because it was the 8th day. He was already mechuyav in it, and then he got tamei again. And so when the next time he gets the hor, he brings for 2 sets because he was mechuyav in it. B'layla, eno maybe. But in Laila, you don't bring. Why? Because there was no chiyuv at night, and therefore you don't bring. There's no. But then comes the Braita and says, "V'Ribbi Yochanan Amar, ba'af b'layla nami maybe you also bring at night." What do you mean? There's no chiyuv at night. You cannot bring korbanot at night. So why does Rabbi Yochanan say over here when there's no chiyuv on the bringing the korban, you can't bring it at night? Apparently, there's no chiyuv, and he's saying, you got tameh again at night, even before you have to bring the korbanot. You have to bring 2 sets of korbanot. Why? I thought if you're not mechuyav, there's no tashlumin. That's what you said before. You said if there's a chiyuv, then you bring tashlumin. No chiyuv, no tashlumin. So here there's no chiyuv, so why are you saying there's tashlumin? So Omar Rabbi Yirmiyah says, no, you're right. Be'emet, if Yochanan holds, you have to have a chiyuv to be tashlumin. But here it's different. Why? Tum'ah. When it comes to Tum'ah, apparently there might be a different rule. Tum'ah, we have in the Torah, the Torah teaches Tum'ah, you always bring tashlumin. Why? The yesh la tashlumin ba'pesach sheni. Right? What's the Pesach sheni? Pesach sheni, the Torah says that the person missed it because he was tameh or other reasons. He brings a Pesach sheni. So what do you see? The guy was tameh. He was patur from the Pesach. And yet the Torah says he should bring a tashlumin. So says Rabbi Yochanan, you're right. Usually you have to have a chiyuv. And then you have tashlumin. But in the case of Tumah is special. Tumah, the Torah itself tells us, Tumah, there's tashlumin. So on second, Matkifla Rav Papa. Rav Papa says, Hani Chalamanda Ama. This all works well according to the opinion. Pesach Sheni Tashlumin Derishon Hu. Pesach Sheni is a makeup, but not everybody holds like that. Elamanda Amar Sheni Regel Bifnei Atzmohu. But according to the opinions that say that Pesach Sheni is a holiday in its own right, it's not just a makeup. It's a separate holiday. It's a holiday for those who are unable to make it, but it's its own chayv. It's its own holiday. So you were saying, Tameh, and there's a tashlumin for Tameh from Pesach Sheni. That's not true. So the question remains to be Yochanan. Why would you say by the Nazir at night? You would say he gets Tameh at night, he has to bring a second carbon. There's no chiyuv of carbon at night. Whereas by the Chagiga, the guy is Chagiga, you say, he's part of the first day, he's part of the whole thing. So why by Nazir you say he's Mechuyav Tashlumin? And why by the Chagiga, by Chagiga, you say he's part of? Now, before we move on, halacha how do we paskin when it comes to Pesach Sheni? How do we look at Pesach Sheni? So I'm going to read to you from the Rambam. Let's take a look at the Rambam for one moment of how to understand Pesach Sheni. Okay. 1 minute. Let me just find the spot. Okay, says the Rambam. Sefer Korbanot, Hilchot Korban Pesach 5:1. Says the Rambam. Pesach Sheni, Regel Bifnei Atzmo. It's its own holiday, but not just a Tashlumin. And since it's its own holiday, it's Doche Shabbat. And someone who doesn't bring this Korban is Chayav Karet. Because it's its own holiday. And there is opinions. So, for example, because it's its own Pesach, its own holiday, there might be ramifications as such. If someone was a katan when Pesach Rishon came, and then he became a gadol between Pesach and Pesach Sheni, well, guess what? If it's a regel b'fnei atzmo, it's his own holiday. Now he's mechuyav in Pesach Sheni. But if he was just a tashlum in Pesach Sheni, so he was potter in Pesach Rishon, he's been potter for Pesach Sheni because there's nothing to make up. But it's regel b'fnei atzmo. So too a guy was a guy before Pesach Rishon, and between Pesach Rishon and Pesach Sheni he became a ger. He's going to be mechuyav in Pesach Sheni, right? Because it's a regel b'fnei atzmo. But if you say it's just a tashlumin, then not. Then he can't because he's just making up. Okay, so that's the way that the Rambam brings halacha, the Maaseh, regarding Pesach Sheni. Very interesting. Most people don't understand that. Most people think Pesach Sheni is Tashlumim. We just say, no, Pesach Sheni is a regal b'fnei atzmai for those who couldn't bring it on the first day. Okay, so back talking about it. So we're now still at a sira for Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says the guy became Tomei at night. You can't bring korban at night, but he has to bring a tashlumin on that korban. What do you mean? He was never mechuyav on that korban, at least for our understanding at the moment. And how come by the chigar? But the chigar, he says, no, you put Yom Rishon, you put the whole thing. Why that distinction? And it cannot be because Tumah is different. Because Tumah, you have a tashlumin by Pesach Sheni. That's not true because Pesach Sheni is a regular Fnei Atzma. So what do? So here is the answer now. Ela Amar Papa, says Papa. Kisavar Rav Yochanan, very important. Laila eno mehusar ziman. Says Rav Yochanan as follows. You know why I'm telling you the Nazir, when he comes Tamei at night, he has to bring the Korban, a second set of Korban the second time around? Because he really was mechuyav. He was obligated in the Korbanot. When the night comes, in the 8th night, you're mechuyav in the Korban. You cannot bring the Korban because Korbanot are not kasher at night. But the chiyuv already fell on you. So therefore, since you're mechuyav at night, right? Even though you can't bring it, so if you come tameh at night, you would have to bring a tashlumin. So that fits in. That fits in with the chagiga. If you're mechuyav on the first day, you're bringing the rest of the days. If you're not mechuyav on the first day, you put the rest of the days. Same thing here. This guy, the only reason why he has to bring it because he's mechuyav at night. Even though you cannot bring it at night, the chiyuv exists. Okay. Now we're going to ask on the Rabbi Yochanan, from Rabbi Yochanan again, but this time in a different case. Okay, this case is the case of the Zav, the person who has a discharge from his male member. The first time it happens on one day, he has this discharge. He becomes a Baal Keri. He's coming for the day. He goes into the mikvah. Night falls. He becomes tahor. If he sees twice in one day or twice on 2 consecutive days, he becomes with tumat zav. And he touches stuff, he sits on things, they all become tameh. Now, how does he finish this? How does he come Torah again? He has to count 7 days. Shiv'a nikiyim. Just like we're familiar with the ladies today. They have to have Shiv'a nikiyim. So too, this man who had the tumah of Zav would have to count 7 clean days. And after 7 clean days, he goes into the mikvah in the nighttime. Now, if he saw 3 times, whether 3 on one day or within 3 consecutive days, and he goes to the mikvah, the next morning he has to bring, on the 8th day, he has to bring korbanot. He has to bring korbanot. Okay? So very similar like the Nazir. He has to have 7 days. And then on the 8th day, he brings korbanot. Now, what did we say to Yochanan? Yochanan says, if you're mechuyav at night, so then you bring it into the tashlumin. Right? And now let's take a look. Let's see. Amar Yochanan, Hachi. Did Yochanan say this? That the night is really the chiyuv. And therefore, if he didn't bring it, or he got tummy again, he has to bring the tashlumin based on that, because at the night time he was already mechuyav in the korbanot, even though he became tummy again at night. But Amar Reb Yochanan ra'a ahad balayla. If he saw one on the night before the 8th day, ushtayim bayom, and then he saw 2 in the daytime. So when he becomes tahor the second time, he brings twice the korban. Why? Even though he saw a night, it was not the zman to bring the korban. So therefore, and he doesn't become a tameh yet. Now, when he sees a second and third time, it was then in the daytime. And in the daytime, he already was mechuyav in the korban. But shtayim balayla. But if he saw another 2 times, zav, so he counted 7 days, and now on the 7th and the 8th night, the night before the 8th day, he again sees twice. V'achat bayom enu movi. You don't bring the korban because it's considered one long tuma. But isaka datach kisav Yochanan laila enu mechusar zman afil shtayim balayla achat bayom mevi. Here's the question. Yochanan says over here, this zav, right? He was mituma. He had 3 times first. He now counted 7 days. He now was waiting for the 8th morning, and on the night of the 8th night, before the 8th morning, he sees again twice. He becomes again zav. It says of Yochanan, he only brings 1 korban after he waits another 7 days. He only brings 1 korban. Why 1 korban? He was ready mechuyav in the korban. You said you're chuyav in the korban at night. You just cannot bring it at night. So he's mechuyav in the korban. So in the end, when he's finished it the second time around, he should have 2 korbanot. Why is Yochanan saying only 1? I thought you said if Yochanan says the night is really when the chiyuv starts, you just can't bring it then. But according to this braita, it seems that Yochanan is not saying that. The Gemara says, no. Truth is, if Yochanan does hold that. But Hikam of Yochanan, L'divrei ha'omer laila mechusar zeman. Rabbi Yochanan is saying, no. I'm teaching you guys this based in your opinion. I really hold he's going to be mechuyav in the korban. Why? Because a night is a time for the korban, and therefore he'll have a tashlumin. So if he sees twice of that night, he'll have a tashlumin. But according to you guys, if he sees two at night, it's going to be considered one long tumah, and he'll only have to bring one korban. So he was saying it in their opinion. He's saying it in their opinion. Gemara says, "Ledevre haomer shita." What are you teaching us, Rabbi Yochanan, by telling us what our opinion is? I mean, that's our opinion. We know our opinion. Our opinion is that if it happens at night, guess what? You're not mechuyav in the korban, so there's no tashlumin. We know that. See, Asher Koach. Where is Rabbi Yochanan trying to imply? What is he trying to teach us? To teach us in our opinion. Oh, he's coming to teach us Shetayim bayom b'achat balayla itzterchela. Zalket atach amina ki at kafta derav shisha berev derav idi. The case where you see two in the daytime and one at night. You might have thought to go like Rav Shisha berev derav idi on Rav Yosef. Now you might think to say, so this basically has to do with how do you mitzdaref? If a guy saw one at night and two during the day, okay? He saw one at night and two during the day. Do you now say that all three of them are counted and now he becomes a zav who requires to bring a korban? Or do I say we don't connect the night with the day? Right? And then how many korban he has to bring when he is tahor from the second time around? So, says, this is what Yochanan wants to teach us. That Kivan Shadain lo yatzel zman akav korban al tumato rishona umistavish lo tzteref lemachlat l'shtei ariyot k'mashmalan k'derav Yosef shafaf piken mitzterefet l'riyah rishona la'achoret le'inyan chiyuv korban. So you might have thought since that night he's not mechuyav in the korban yet, according to this opinion, right? That's what Yochanan is teaching. Jews, I think he had one at night and he had two during the day. Don't combine them to say that now he has to bring a second korban the next time around. Because of the daytime, he only had two, and this one was when he was not mechuyav in the korban. Now he is mechuyav in the korban. So you don't have three when he's mechuyav in the korban. So maybe there is no tashlumin. Says Rabbi Yochanan, no. You have to agree to this. That if you have one at night and two during the day, even though the night one happened when he's not mechuyav in the korban, so if you had two at night, he's not mechuyav in the korban afterwards. But in this case, we had two during the day where he is mechuyav in the korban already, and he had one from the night. We're going to say it combines, and then he would have to bring two set of korbanot the second time that he is tahor, and that's why Rabbi Yochanan said their opinion to teach them that even in their opinion, there was one at night, two during the day. They do combine to bring another korban, even though they don't have three during the time he was mechuyav in the korban. Okay, so this is this Gemara. It was an intense Gemara. I agree to you on that. It required a lot of forethought, a lot of thinking, a lot of analysis. But Baruch Hashem, we went through it. The next time around, we'll make up with some. I got it to Gemara.
What page did we stop on?
We stopped. I'll tell you right now. Hold on. In the English Art Scroll, we stopped on 9b2. 9b2.
Okay.
Okay. Asher Koach, Shavua Tov.